from Caroline Levitt. FDA sends warning letters and 100 cease and desist orders to drug makers. And I'm sure that's what RFK Jr. was in part speaking about. So we're going to take a look at this here from News Nation. Not sure if this video is pertaining to that or not. I know often on these news websites it's not. Usually it involves some other headline of the day. But it does say healthy discussion. Not sure if this is going to play, though. Yeah, it looks like it's in the video title. Uh-oh. Oh, no. You're not making me sign up, are you?
That's 4 minutes
All right, let's see about this.
Back prior to 1997,
You're going to let me full screen it?
advertising in magazines had page
I think
after
so.
page after
There we go.
side
Yeah, that's
effects
better.
reported. And so we don't know exactly what it will do.
All right, we did see that.
Healthy prescription about a brand new.
All right, there we go.
Health and
They
Human
want to hear it
Services
all over
Secretary
again.
RFK Jr. on Fox this evening talking about a brand new memorandum regulating how pharmaceutical companies advertise prescription
Let's crank this up a little bit.
This is part of RFK's 19-page MAHA strategy report aimed at making America's children healthy again. It essentially puts into words strategies and theories RFK Jr. has been promoting for years. With us now, Commissioner of the FDA, Dr. Marty Makary.
Good to be with you, Lee.
Pleasure, sir. Go back to 1997. What does that mean?
Yeah, remember the days when pharmaceutical ads were rare. One of the reasons was that because of the regulation that they have to present a fair balance of the pros and cons, they had to have a lot of information about the side effects. Well, in 1997, there was a loophole created with a reg that said they can put the side effect information somewhere else. They don't have to disclose it. Ads started becoming more common. You got more and more expensive drugs. Drug companies went hard. And now you've got some TV shows where, quite honestly, it's a nonstop running drug ad with.
Okay, we're not going to knock drug advertising here. It is an important part of the industry, I might say.
Yeah, it's part of free speech, and they're entitled to advertise. We have regulations at the FDA that say they cannot create a misleading impression, and they have to provide a fair balance. And we're going to say now the side effects have to go in the ad. They can't put it somewhere else. No one's enforced these regs. These regs have increasingly had enforcement that's been lax over the years, to the point where in the last administration, in 2023, there was only one enforcement letter sent by the FDA, and last year it was 0. Today, I sent out 108 enforcement letters, which were cease and desist letters to the companies, and we sent out.
So what are you saying in these letters? That your advertising is misleading? It's wrong? What is it?
That's right. It's violating our regulations. It's creating a misleading or false impression. It's not listing the side effects appropriately. I mean, you're watching people singing and dancing, and then you think, wait, did I just hear sudden death? I mean, they're not.
Well, so long as they say it, it's okay, right?
Well, they have to give a fair picture of the medical.
Dude, we all know what he's talking about. The FDA guy, or Makary, is that his name? Dr. Makary? Yeah, like all of them are uplifting types of commercials. The glass is always half full. They're always smiling, and it's always like a nice, bright, sunny day. And then, yeah, like he's talking, like side effects may include this, that, and then they go on for like 2 straight minutes. Sudden death is like buried in the middle somewhere. It's absolutely crazy,
medication. Man. We've got online pharmacies that don't mention any side effects whatsoever. We've got paid social media influencers that are paid by the pharmaceutical companies, essentially advertising a drug. Studies show side effects are mentioned less than 1/3 of the time.
New York Times, Kennedy.
Well, and like I seriously doubt that he's advocating for them to start pulling drugs off the shelves. I think it's mostly just there's an element of subliminal messaging, perhaps. I don't know if I'd use the word propaganda. That might be a little bit of a harsh word to say, but in some cases, it very well could be. I mean, back in the late 90s, I think it was early 2000s, when OxyContin was being marketed as a non-addictive alternative to opiates or some shit, and it turned out to be completely the opposite. Everybody got their asses sued off for that, and I mean, like a lot of these drug commercials, there's probably a lot fewer people out in the public in the real world that drug would be optimal for than they're making it appear to be. So, I mean, look, I'm all about them regulating the pharmaceutical companies with regard to their advertising.
Releases childhood health report. It's vague on next steps. For all Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy's high-profile moves over the last few weeks. A new report from the Make America Healthy Again Commission he leads, released Tuesday, arrived with little fanfare or teeth. Sending a social media influencer a letter is a little bit different than sending somebody who's advertising on Monday Night Football, right? Is this actually, what has changed in America over the past 6 months that make us healthier?
Well, it's funny you mentioned football. There was one analysis that showed you're watching more pharmaceutical ads than you are football plays when you watch a football game in some instances.
No way.
We're not sending the letter to the influencer. We're sending the letter to the pharmaceutical company because we have regulations. They haven't been enforced. And this is something that almost every doctor is united around. We as physicians don't like the nonstop barrage of ads that create a false, misleading impression. They're increasing demand for medications in a culture where we've got a pill-popping society mindset.
Oh, big time.
My mother would call it better living through pharmacology.
Well, the thing is, there's no sense of what the appropriateness of these medications. I mean, sometimes you watch them in these ads, and you don't even know exactly what it's for, but you kind of want
You're going to get longer eyelashes, and then halfway down it says, and you might die.
Something positive. You think, I'll give up. I'll take it.
Right. Okay. So this is an important question, though. I think the New York Times makes a point here. 6 months into the Trump administration, how is America healthier?
Gosh, we have done so much in 6 months. And I didn't read that article, but there is so much spin.
Yet, but by
if we literally
be.
approved the cure for cancer at the FDA, you'd find some negative spin given how polarized the media is today.
Probably.
We have done a tremendous amount in 6 months. I've been at the FDA for 5 months. We have removed petroleum-based dyes from the U.S. food supply. We've got an inventory of all
chemicals. Are they actually gone, or they're on their way?
We've got commitments.
So they're not gone.
So we follow on our website. We are rewriting the food pyramid, a piece of misinformation that wouldn't allow some schools to have whole milk. We are ending the 50-year war on saturated fat. We are doing an inventory of every chemical. We're removing the GRAS standard, and we've initiated that regulation change. So you can't just put whatever chemical in your food you want as a food maker.
Isn't that all jacked up too?
We are having a new process to make drug approvals more streamlined and modernized because we want to deliver more cures and meaningful treatments to the American public. And we have called out vape stores and what's in those stores. It's been a very busy 5 months.
So you're saying that there are marked ways that American lives are healthier.
We're taking steps to change the entire conversation.
Don't hit the pharmacy, hit the gym.
Today, which I would encourage everybody to read at the White House website, has 128 specific things that we want to put front and center in American healthcare, because we've never really been talking about them in traditional medicine. The microbiome, food as medicine, micronutrients, the importance of soil and where you get your food, microplastics, natural light exposure in children. These are things that affect mood. Screen time affects the amount of ADHD meds that are prescribed. We have got to look at patients holistically, and we've got to talk about root causes. You're seeing a whole new slew of research grants come out of the NIH to talk about root causes for the first time. It's an exciting time. We're resetting that national health agenda. The MAHA report explains exactly how, and we've been very busy at the FDA.
All right.
Good to see
there
you.
You have it.
Thank you.
So I don't have to go through the article because I'm sure that it detailed everything that the article was covering. But I'll link it if you want to check it out. But yeah, one of the beefs that I have with the medical industry today. So this was actually quite a while ago, like probably 15 years ago or so. I had a kidney stone, and long story short, I ended up having what they called a shockwave lithotripsy. It was a non-invasive procedure where they blast your kidney with like high intense like sound waves or shock waves or whatever they call it. Or shock waves. Yeah, shockwave lithotripsy. And so they had to put a stent in, and so I mean it was somewhat invasive, but it didn't have to be put under the knife or anything like that. It was an outpatient thing. So I had the stone, then I had that done like 2 weeks later because I had a whole bunch of stones in my kidney. So anyway, after about a year, maybe a year and a half went by, I was still seeing a urologist. I think it was every 3 months at least. I was like, dude, you pulverized all the stones out of my kidney. Why the fuck am I still going here? Like, what's the point? So I just stopped going, and okay, all good. Now, I've had other situations after that it's boring and pointless to get into, like kidney stone related, but I think that's probably the case with a lot of people. Like they'll have something happen to them and they'll get fixed up. But the specialist just won't let them go. They just keep scheduling them for the next one. Like, see you next month. See you next month. And then eventually they'll stretch it out to like 3 months, maybe eventually 6 months. But it's almost like once they get a hold of you, whatever specialist it might be, they just don't let you go. And they don't want to let you go because you're a cash cow to them. So not sure if that's exactly what they're going to be aiming for. But yeah, we definitely live in a heavily medicated society, and it'd be nice to try to incentivize just good old-fashioned diet and exercise as opposed to there's a pill for that, there's a pill for this, pill for that, pill for that.